Married at First Sight, Season 14, Episode 12, and this is the after party, y'all. And as usual, the after party has become must-see TV. We get all our answers answered in the after party. So once again, I'm doing this review first. I'm probably going to give a little few spoilers on some of my other reviews I'm going to do for the individual couples. But be sure to subscribe and get the alerts, because after I do this after party, I'm going to do videos on each of the 4 couples. I'll start linking them together with links at the end of each video as I move along throughout the day. But this is going to be the first video of the day. So at the end of this video, you'll see a link to other videos as I start uploading them. Well, boy, oh boy, did we get some questions answered in this episode. And the main question we got was, Noi finally named her price. We all been wondering, how much money did Steve have saved up? What's it going to take, Noi, for you to feel okay with Steve taking some time off work to start this new entrepreneurial endeavor? What's it going to take? What's it going to take? And you know what her price ended up being? $40,000. And I said, what? We hear all this time over $40,000? Now, maybe $40,000 is a lot of money somewhere in a small town in the Midwest or the middle of America, but $40,000 in Boston for a family of 2 probably only gets you the 6 months. So you mean to tell me, Nora, you acting all this way over $40,000? I don't believe it. In my last video, y'all, I was telling you, I don't know. I can't figure out Noi, but I have figured her out now. Noi has been running around here masquerading like what it is fear, that she's afraid she's going to be broke and poor. And Pastor Cal put that little answer in her head like she's a refugee, and she latched on to it. So she's trying to act like she's fearful. Nope. This ain't fear. Let me tell you what this is. It's called envy. That's what it is. The truth of the matter is, Noi is jealous and envious of Steve. I'm going to talk about it more in my video on Noi and Steve, so be sure to look at that. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm treating Noi completely differently now, because you know what? Now that I know that this ain't fear and this is envy, she deserves a different treatment. Anyway, let me get back to the after party before I continue on my rant. So the after party really just ended up being Olajuwon and Noi. I know people are pissed that they having these guest speakers on here, but we need to be pissed at Alyssa for this, because listen, without Alyssa and Chris taking these slots, that would have meant that we either would have had 2 people on the show alone, or that meant people would have had to do more after parties. And these folks have been working and filming a lot. So I don't mind them not wanting to do extra after parties to make up for Alyssa and Chris not being able to be there. So make sure we place our anger where it belongs, which is with Alyssa and not with these guest speakers. It ain't their fault they on these shows. If you just want to have 2 people on the after party, then that's okay. But that 3rd slot is all because of Alyssa. So the drink of the day was a twist on the gin and tonic. It was called a gin and the toxic. That's a cute name, actually. Keisha and I talked about how polarizing the season has been, and she asked Olajuwon and Noi how it's been affecting them. And Noi said, you know, she kind of wasn't prepared for all the blogs and different things. So we know they out here reading these blogs and looking at these reviews and stuff. And people have been kind of harsh. Well, you know what? Noi's about to get even some more harsh treatment, because now that people know her price is $40,000, I think folks going to start treating her a little bit differently. I know right now, I'm full on Steve's. I'm on Steve's team now. We also get our questions answered about why was Olajuwon acting such a fool over that app, that old dating app on her phone. And we realized that his was motivated by fear too. He thought karma was coming to get him. He said when he saw that app on her phone, it reminded him of what he used to do to women, how he manipulated women, how he treated women, and had apps on his phone when he was dating other women. So when he saw Katina doing, he was like, oh, is she walking dirty? He got scared. Like I told you, Olajuwon is scared. He's always been scared. And when he gets scared, this is what he does. He lashes out. But after he's able to go back and think about things, and he realizes that his fear is irrational, then he tends to calm down. And that's exactly what he ended up doing. Calming down. He even said, Katina told him, well, if I was really trying to cheat on you, why would I have the app on page 1? Why would I have my phone unlocked? Why would I show you my phone? Hello, Olajuwon. But you know, fear is not logic. You don't ask those questions when you're fearful. You just start acting out of fear. And that's exactly what Olajuwon was doing. So he talked about how he apologized and how he knows he needs to handle things differently and everything. So he apologized, and of course we know Katina apologized to him as well. Then they started talking to Noi about her little sassy side when she was telling Steve to kiss her ass over some chores, and why is she getting so sassy over it. She's still deflecting, and her deflection answer was she was just frustrated over Steve asking her to do more when she doesn't ask him to do more? Well, listen to this. That's because you don't need to ask Steve to do no more because he's doing everything. Like he said, he's cooking, he's cleaning, he's taking care of sushi, he's paying bills. What more could you ask? See, that's the point. You can't ask for anything more because he's doing everything. You want to sit around and not do nothing, Noi. You know why? And that's why you're jealous of Steve. You're actually jealous and envious that Steve has the opportunity to live this life. This is what this is. It's envy. And Keisha and I had to call her out on it and say, listen, what do you mean you haven't asked me anything on me? You asking him to get a job? She goes, well, I asked him, but I don't put no pressure on him. So what are you saying? That he puts pressure on you? He's doing more than asking. He's pressuring you. See, Noah is double talking. See, this is what happens when you're not telling the truth. See, when you're not telling the truth, you just start spitting out answers, but your answers don't really make any sense. Because the real truth is, it really doesn't have to do anything with money. That's why she hasn't asked for no bank account records. That's why she never asked for no number from Steve. Just like we're all talking about, why can't we get to the bottom of this? Tell him a number, Noi. Tell him a number. We've been asking for Noi to give us a number all season long. And when we finally hear the number, she says 40,000 because this was never rooted in the money. This was rooted in the fact that she's jealous and envious that Steve can sit at home on his butt and nap in the middle of the day. It's envy. So Noi starts saying it doesn't really have to do with whether or not he's self-employed or unemployed. It has to do more with his character. What do you mean? Like he's lazy or something? Well, if he's so lazy, how could he save up this much money? You see, it doesn't make any sense. Nobody works really hard, saves up a bunch of money, and then you get to call them lazy. No. Do you call a person lazy on vacation? No. You know why? Because it's vacation. And what you did was you worked hard to earn your vacation. Nobody runs around calling a person on vacation lazy. So you telling me because this man worked so hard, saved up a bunch of money, now you worried about his motivation? Don't believe it. It's envy. So when that didn't go over well, Noi jumps to her next excuse. Her next excuse was, well, I've been down this road before. You know, what I did was I moved to Boston for a person and I moved in with them and when it was a disaster and I had to rebuild my whole life again. But I vowed to myself I would never do that again and just live with a man unless I was engaged or I was married. Well, that invalidates your whole story, Noi, because you are married. And she goes, oh yeah, well, I know I'm married. Well, then that invalidates your excuse. Because once again, she's trying to come up with reasons. And the real reason is she's envious and jealous and she can't say that. So then they call her on that too. So she comes up with another answer. Oh, well, you know, the other real story is, this is her third excuse. The other real story is we're really just kind of dating. What? You're just kind of dating? You mean you just basically held a gun up to this man's head to make him confess that he loves you. Now you've downgraded his love to dating so that you can still stay in this position? Girl, you jealous and envious. Now you're going to downgrade your relationship and call it just dating, all so you can hold on to this position. Girl, you jealous. So then she says, oh, well, the other reason, now we're on to excuse number 4 or 5 now. Oh, well, the other reasons we have been arguing a lot and we haven't been able to resolve any of our issues. You know why you haven't been able to resolve your issues, Noi? One is you're a bad communicator. And the second reason you haven't been able to resolve your issue is because you're trying to resolve the wrong thing. Steve keeps trying to resolve the thing around money because he thinks that's what the real issue is. I mean, so did I. So did a lot of people. But now that we find that the real issue is jealousy and envy, Steve, don't bow down to this. Do not let your house be run by jealous and envy. Do not let Noi make you do something you don't want to do just because she's jealous of you. So then she starts talking about, well, Steve has all this free time, so he should use his free time. If I'm on vacation and my husband is not on vacation and he's working, why should I use my vacation time now to do all his chores? Why should I use my vacation time now to do all his chores? That's not what you do with your free time and your chores, is become the slave of somebody else. That's what you want. You want Steve to allocate all of what he's done to you. Like I tell you, she's jealous and envious. She is jealous of Steve. And she explained Sriracha, her sister, being on her side. Well, I expected that because Sriracha is her sister. But she did let us know that at the end, Sriracha even had a clearer mind and told her, you guys can work this out. When she finally told everybody that her price was $40,000, I don't think Keisha Knight Pulliam wanted to say it out loud. I don't even think that guest speaker wanted to say it out loud either. But we were always thinking, $40,000, girl, bye. That ain't no real issue. We all know Steve got more than $40,000 in the bank. So then we get on to another fearful person, Olajuwon. He walks in fear too. And they start talking about how he and Katina haven't had sex and what's the problem. And Olajuwon further reiterates that it's mostly him. He says it's very important to them that they don't consummate their marriage. What for? Olajuwon is scared of something. You know, people think it's that he's not attracted to Katina. That ain't it. It is not it at all. Just like it's not the problem with Jasmine and Michael. And I told y'all that before. I'm going to get into that on my videos. But listen, Olajuwon is attracted to Katina. Once again, he's afraid of something. Maybe he isn't as good as he tries to say he is. Maybe he's quick on the trigger. I don't know, but he's scared of something. I know that for sure. He did confirm that in Lindsay's little blow up this week, which I'll talk about in my Lindsay video, she did go to the roof. And when she went up to the roof, I guess he probably met her up there and heard a little bit of the backstory. But he did tell Lindsay that, you know what, she's quick to point the finger at everybody else, but she doesn't take any responsibility. And he said he told her that, you know, Mark is really, really trying, but she just comes at him so hard. Hello, that's what we've been saying all season. And Lindsay, another fearful person. All these fearful people leading with all this anger and brashness and rudeness when underneath is just feared little kids. Jasmina, Olajuwon, and Lindsay, all the same, almost darn near ruining all their relationships because they're just scared people. All of them need to be on a couch in a therapy session. So at the end, they start asking the guest lady, Sarah, who she thought was going to say yes. And she said she knew that Katina and Olajuwon were going to say yes. And she said she was pretty sure Noah and Steve would until this last episode. Noah and Steve going to say yes because Noah ain't going to have no choice but to go along with Steve. Steve, hold your ground. Do not acquiesce to Noah because she's living in fear. She's walking in fear and envy, and don't let your house be ruled by that. Anyway, y'all, hope you watch my other videos. Talk to you later. Bye.